You fine, Emma, or not?
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Thank you. Got it live streamed. Good. First of all, apologies for lateness from Mike, who's having difficulties with his technology at present. Any other apologies?
And as an absence apology.
Sorry?
And as an apology for absence.
Okay, I haven't heard you there, Emma, but I'll take that down. The second are declarations of interest. Is there anyone who's got an interest in any?
Don't we need to move the
items?
apologies?
I'm happy to move.
We need to move the apologies.
I'll move apologies. Okay. Who wants to move them?
I'll move.
Debbie?
I'll move them.
And second.
Second.
Thank you, Jimmy. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
It's carried. Hi, Gamal.
Hello.
Yeah,
Was
good
that
day.
Jimmy or Gamal?
Jamal.
Confirmations. Oh no, declarations of interest. Has anyone got an interest in any of the items in front of us? No, so I'll move on. 3, confirmation of previous minutes, and that the minutes of our community board meeting on the 3rd of May be confirmed. So can I have a person to move that? And Gamal moved, seconded.
Happy to second.
Thank you, Mark. Any comments? Thank you, Mark. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against? Aye. Carried. Thank you very much for that. The public forum. We did have a person coming to speak to us. Is that so, Matthew and Emma?
That is correct.
Thank you.
So
He's
hopefully,
here.
yep.
We have Maddie here.
Maddie, if you would like to take yourself off of mute, Maddie, and we'll hand it over to you.
Thank you. And it's Marty Kiri, and he's been at the Australian Junior Age Group Golf Championships. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, that's pleasure. Do you want to speak to us and tell us about the championships?
So over there, I'll just, where do I start? It was just amazing. Like when you go over there, it's just a whole new feeling too. It's like the feeling of traveling from New Zealand to Australia and just the environment around you, and like everything over there is quite like it's quite nice, you know. It's very I just really loved like the feeling over there that I got compared to New Zealand, like going over there, meeting all the people. It was just really, really good experience for me and to help me on my career.
Thank you. And can I ask you what your golf handicap is?
I think my golf handicap right now is at 11.5, I think. I'm pretty sure.
11.1, son.
11.1.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And what age are you?
I'm just turned 12 on the 3rd of May.
Ah, wow. Very good.
Well done.
Well done.
Thank you.
Other questions? Andre?
Yes, whereabouts in Australia was it?
It was in the Gold Coast.
Oh, yeah, so quite a bit warmer, was it?
Yeah, the weather was really nice. Like waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning and having the sun just beam down on us was really nice.
It wasn't tricky to adjust to. It was just quite nice, quite simply.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Beautiful.
Have some other questions? Yeah.
Debbie. What was I going to say? How long were you over there for, Maddie?
I think we're over there for about a week, I'm pretty sure. I think it was a week.
Yes.
Lovely. I'm sure you'll go back again one day.
Yeah, hopefully.
I just want to say that so Marty played in his age group and qualified for the Junior World Stars in Las Vegas. So we're going to Las Vegas in June, end of June, and he's representing New Zealand in the 11 to 12-year-old section in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah.
Wow, it's very impressive, because I actually know how hard golf is. I'm amazed that that you've got a handicap of 11. It's very impressive. And here's Mike, and there's Jimmy. Got a question, and then Mike's back and sharing it. Jimmy,
Maddie, you mentioned an amazing trip, to Australia. Which city in Australia?
Was it Benoa, I think? Is that
okay? So how many group is from the have any group from the overseas? I mean, outside of Australia, or just in Australia, just different state or different?
I think it's Australasia, so New Zealand and Australia. Is that right, bro?
Yes.
300 children.
Oh, 300. Oh, very good, very good. Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Okay.
Well done, Maddie.
Thank you, and well done.
Very good.
Mike's got a
very
question,
much.
Helen.
Thank you. Jimmy, if you turn off your hand, I will then hand over to Mike. Thank you,
Okay.
Mike, and you wish to chair from now on, please.
Oh, thanks very much, Helen, for filling in for me while I had technical difficulties. But anyway, just wish to congratulate Maddie very, very much, and really, really thank him for actually coming back and communicating his experience with our community board. And we just love doing things for young people like that. So another Tiger Woods, I hear.
Yeah.
So anyway, just really, really proud to be able to help you, and thank you very much for coming and reporting back on your lovely experience to our community board.
No problem.
That's lovely. Thank you, Maddie.
Moving on there with our agenda, and we have declarations by deputations by appointment, and we got Don Pilgrim with us.
Hello there, Mike.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hello.
Welcome.
It's me again.
I remember
Welcome
you.
to our community board meeting, Don. But I'm just really pleased to say that things are happening anyway. So, and you're aware of that. But anyway, we're very, very happy to hear from you again, Don. So we're in your hands.
Thank you, Mike. Well, we had an event out in the corner and where I live. And I think it's been circulated by Faye. Would that be right? It's a letter addressed to the board on the 25th of March.
Yes.
Complete with some photos.
It's been loaded onto the members' hubs if you're looking for it, members.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to perhaps give you some time to look at it now. I mean, the photos tell the story. In essence, a car sped up as it came to the corner. It was an SUV, so it was a heavy vehicle, really. And came off on our bridge and just missed the lamppost, which the previous car 6 months ago hit. And then had enough momentum to sail across the road onto the other side of the road, onto that footpath. And then came off. I was up and saw it just exiting the footpath on the other side of the road, and then it came to a rest in Boston Ave, and it would be a write-off. You see the photo there of the damage it did just to the one wheel. But that was scary, and we were in bed, which is only 11 meters away from where this thing came off. And being the second time in 6 months, and the time before that, well, there was 3 in all in 4 years. It just prompted us to want to write to you guys again.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but also to update you that since then we've met Gartham, who's the traffic engineer, on Monday at 11 a.m. on site.
Yes.
And he's prepared to entertain the thought of putting a centre line and a speed advisory, which I hope is lower than, just for that corner, plus a sign obviously, indicating it is a corner. So that's progress in the right direction.
It
But I'm
is,
trying
indeed.
now to reflect the some of the the residents, my neighbours, and I've got a couple of points. I mean, Gartham, as you read his memo, is saying that there's well, the corner is graded as a low priority site for any safety improvements. And I just wanted to respond to that, if I may, but also any questions the board have.
Any questions? I can't see any hands up.
Mark Peters has his hand up, Mike.
Okay, I can't see that, sorry.
Have you pressed your noughts and crosses little button thing, Mike?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Very good. Thank you for coming back to us, Don. Apologies, it's taken us as a board and council so long to get back to you on this one. I'm quite keen to work with Galtham and to keep an eye on this corner together with you and the residents. And I still sort of think back to when you first came and I'd mentioned that perhaps the treatment around Trevor Street corner was perhaps a possibility for this corner to help emphasise and slow people down. If they can do it over there in Trevor Street, then surely we can look at similar sort of thing on your corner. So I'll leave that as a thought in people's heads on that one.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say I'd hate to see the because that's a safety report on that one on Trevor Street, actually, a safety audit on it, because I wouldn't like to recommend that again anyway. Thank Mark. We'll talk offline about that one. That's a yes. I don't know how they got away with it, but anyway.
A couple of curb intrusions to slow everybody down.
Yep. Yeah. But anyway, I'm really pleased Gotham's been back to you.
It's good.
Yeah, absolutely, Don. And I think what I've heard today, that things will be in place that will certainly help. But as I said to you via email, we can't keep idiots' feet off the accelerator pedal.
No. I mean, most of it is a human issue. I appreciate that, but I guess if you were to use the ram raid, also just 200 meters up the road, as a similar thing. I mean, they were kind of random, but obviously over the country they're becoming, more every day, more of a pattern. And although the incidents on our corner are over a longer period of time, I think it is a pattern that is emerging, and I think the residents would like some sort of speed calming or judder if that was possible. So I think that's where they'd like to work toward.
Yep.
And
well,
sorry,
you carry on.
I was just going to comment, Mike, that given the speed test was just 1 week, the residents have lived here for decades and have a good idea of, the longer term pattern. Can I put it that way? And also Gartham did make a point about the speed calming in terms of being consistent citywide, and I appreciate that. But you've already mentioned Trevor Street. There's also a speed strip or calming strip on Witham Street, just outside the shops. And as you would know, Brindley Street. So it's not as if we haven't got them. And I don't know, is the jury out how effective they are or what?
Well, I used to live on Brindley Street, Don.
Yeah, okay.
And it didn't have any traffic calming on it at all.
Yeah,
and it was a racetrack.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I guess, the other point I would make is that we are getting more cars. They are going from A to B. They're wanting to get there as fast as they can. Some are locals. Some are in love with their cars more than their lives.
We appreciate that.
And the council plan is to increase the density of housing in this very block. So I think longer term it will be an issue more than it is now.
Thanks very much, Don.
Okay.
We've taken that all on board.
Great.
If there's no further questions, I'd just like to thank you very much, Don, for coming back. And as you can see now, wheels are in motion.
Yeah.
Slower, though, than the ones that go around your corner.
Thank God for that.
They are in motion. So thanks very much for your interest in this, and thanks to staff for responding.
Yeah, they've been really supportive. Okay, thanks everyone for listening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good day now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don. And the next item on our agenda is presentation of petitions, and there are none. So then we go on to our Waipuna Halswell-Hornby-Riccarton area report, which is quite a substantial report. So welcome back, Matthew, and thanks, Emma, for putting this report together as well, and staff involvement in that. So Emma, do you want to present that report, or are you happy with Matthew to present that?
Matthew and Faye can present that. Mike, probably more Faye, because she's prepared the report for us. So I'll hand over to Faye.
I'll take the stress off Faye for not being able to get into this meeting today. But thanks, Faye. We're here now.
Okay, so well, really, you've all had the report, so I'm just going to take it as read and let you raise anything you want to raise. So the memo that we've been talking about regarding Blakeney Street that Don was speaking of is included in this report.
Yes.
At attachment C. So just to highlight that.
Yeah, we thank you for that.
Other than that, anything anybody wants to raise? I think just going back to council engagement, we're referring to draft plan changes up there, the housing and business choice plan change, etc. Just advising that those have all been lodged. Those submissions were lodged on Friday.
And I just mentioned about the Noodland Way meeting, or Noodland Reserve, and that meeting has taken place, is it?
And so is the Harvard Lounge open?
Yes, it's taken place. Unfortunately, we weren't aware of either of those events actually happening. So just a little bit disappointed there. Yeah. But otherwise, I think everything's okay. So are we happy with?
I'll move that.
Been moved by Debbie, seconded by Mark Peters. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I've just got a question, if I might. It's probably of Debbie. I'll just find my reactions. Raise hand. Yes, just a question. You went to the hearing the other day on Horswell Commons. Have you got anything to actually report back?
It's not anything to do with this report, though, is it?
I thought it was, actually.
No,
it's not. Okay, I'll leave it then.
Okay. Thank you. If there's no further questions or debate, then I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against of any? Carried. Moving on now then to the elected members' information exchange. And I'd just like to start the ball rolling to say that I've been in touch with Greg Olive again over the last few days to try and get a resolution to the ongoing issue of that big sign. So I'm working on that. And I think we're going to be hearing from Greg again anyway on this matter. So it's not going away. And I think it's something that's serious enough for us to actually have a serious look at. And I'll attempt again to get hold of NZTA to have a meeting. So that's where that's at. And the other thing that I'm aware of is I'll take that offline anyway. The other one is Sylvia Lukey from the Kindy's Bush Resident Association has got a number of issues that she's been trying to get dealt with. And I'd like to suggest that that the board actually, because we only had a half of a sort of a bus trip at the start of this term. So we haven't actually had a proper drive around the Hallswell area to have a look at a lot of these issues. Andre and Catherine will be aware of that. But anyway, and it's just, and Debbie, it's just, there's a lot happening in the Hallswell area, and it'd be really good to have a look at what is developing there and why residents have got some real concerns about it, especially with the work that's happening with stormwater detention in the Halswell Quarry area, and a lot of issues there. So I'm suggesting that as soon as we possibly can, that we arrange a meeting with staff and our community board members to have a meeting on site to have a look at where we can take this matter. So I did assure Sylvia that I would bring it up at this meeting tonight, and that's exactly what I've done. So really,
an ongoing issue.
It is an ongoing issue as well. So I don't want to hold the meeting up, but there are some other issues that I'm going to take offline anyway. So I'll move on then to Debbie. I think it was you, and then Mark Peters, and then Helen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you made it in there. Okay, Mike.
So am I.
Just got three things I'd like to bring up. We just briefly touched on it before the meeting started. In regards to, it's been brought up by a few Wigram residents in regards to the speed limits in Wigram and how they feel that the signage isn't really working. And some have requested that the 40Ks is painted more predominantly on the road, so it's quite obvious rather than the 40K signage. If you had feedback on that too, Andre?
Yeah, well, I put forward a notice of motion 12 months ago regarding 40K signage on the road in Longhurst, but there's been no response to that notice of motion from 12 months ago, so we should get one underway for Wigram Skies.
Yeah, definitely. It shouldn't be taking long. So the thing is
if I can just, sorry, just not to interrupt, Debbie. So staff are doing a review of that at the moment. They put the speed limits in, and subsequently a review to see how they're working. So there may be something comes out of that now.
Can they email our board to notify us of what they're doing? Because there should have been a response to that notice of motion 9 months ago. So if they could give our board, if they could give our
about Wigram Skies, I'm not sure about Longhurst, but I can check it out for you.
Okay.
Because the tailgating that's occurring is becoming more dangerous than almost having it at 50Ks sometimes. So if we could have some kind of investigation there would be great too. Thank you. I did promise I'd bring that up today. Also, it was brought up by some residents in regards to the intersection Sparks Halswell Road where the shops are, the traffic lights there, that there are no arrows for turning. So wondering, because it tends to, as we all know, it's a fast developing area, and it's really now that it's almost like, and is that where the NZTA joins? Is that part of their road at that junction?
Very, very much their junction, yeah.
It's theirs and ours. So can we have some investigation, because that traffic light system has been there for some time, and because of the growth, we believe that there should be some arrows there to assist with the traffic flow. It's pretty difficult.
That intersection's on NZTA's list of projects currently. It's just a matter of it getting to the top of the queue, basically. So it's
to have arrows.
Well, an improvement of the intersection. So arrows being the likely outcome, but it's something we need to meet with NZTA about amongst other issues. So absolutely something that absolutely needs to be something on our radar. Yeah.
It would actually be good to be able to buy up that empty corner section there, wouldn't it, to open up the intersection a bit more.
But yeah, important to note, it is a project that is there. They know it needs to be done. It's just a matter of it, the funding going towards that project. Yeah.
So far, are we able to prompt in another subject?
Well, out of the last meeting, I think Andre raised it. I have written to NZTA saying there were a number of issues and concerns around Halswell Road and the various other intersections. So I'm working with them about it. I'm arranging a briefing now. So
we know we're wanting to have a meeting with NZT on many an issue. So are we able to add that particular intersection, but also the fact that we're needing arrows, as much as they're looking at the whole overhaul of the intersection, Yes, I'm sure that they're looking at areas, but it's just something that's been brought up by the residents because it reduces the flow somewhat, and it's just not meeting the traffic requirements. The other thing too is
your third one, Debbie.
Yeah.
Counting.
Yeah. Well, I might think of another one. No, I can't remember if I brought this up. I don't think I have, otherwise I would have written it off my list. Now, the piano in the old stone house at the quarry.
Yes, you have brought it up before.
I have. Okay. So, Faye, if we've brought this up before, have we had any feedback from the rangers whether or not they would welcome a replacement piano? Only because I see so many pianos that go for free, and I just think it would be nicer to have that in there than one that doesn't work. Or are we just wanting that? I don't even know if that piano was one of the original residents or not. I'm assuming it's not.
Might have belonged to the Withers family.
Well, if it was, can we find that out, please, Faye? Hello.
Yeah, I can ask.
Just because if it is, that might be a reason why they want it left there. But if it's not, can we ask if they would welcome a new piano? Because I know that lots of kids in that would just like a nice piano, but it's not.
When I was at the Eco Shed the other day, there was 2 pianos there, and there was a person playing both of them, and I think they're about $30 or $40 each. So
I know.
You know, they sounded really, really good, but they looked antique. So that's what you'd need there.
Well, Dad gave his away.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh my God. Anyway, carry on, Debbie.
Anyway, that was all. So if we can find that out, it would be just great to have it replaced if possible.
Yeah, okay. Good as gold.
That's all from me, folks.
Yeah, Mark, you've got you next, and then Helen, and then Jimmy, and then Andre.
Excellent. Thanks, Mike.
How many have you got?
I'd like to. Just 3 or 4 should be fine. Won't take all night. So, firstly, I'll back up Debbie on that. Repeat speed signs through Wigrams. I've had a resident in the Lady Wigram retirement village talk to me about that, and they're keen as residents around there to get repeat signs going through. So hopefully the staff recommendation from their monitoring can come back with a positive response on that. Then there was mention last night, Greater Hornby Residents Association's AGM, and congratulations to Mark Duff and his incoming committee. It was a good meeting, and good to have their new constitution confirmed as well. But they were talking about a potential safety meeting in Hornby on the back of, I guess, the ram raid we've had in the corner dairy at Witham Street, and the ongoing boy racer problems that are being reported to the association, with a lot of, as Don Pilgrim even mentioned, tyre burnouts happening around the suburb. So whether that's something we may as a board be able to look at, the idea of putting together a safety meeting in the Hornby area to discuss concerns.
Yes, and I think
can we have a joined one? Can we have a joined one with Horswell?
Canterbury Neighbourhood Support should be involved in that as well. Yes,
absolutely. Canterbury Neighbourhood Support, police, all agencies involved to get us all together and on the same page.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, because when we were at Riccarton on Sunday, there was other issues raised with me too about community safety in Riccarton. So I think as a board would probably be a good idea if we could have a meeting with police and our Canterbury Neighbourhood Support Group to see where we can go, rather than have individual meetings around the 3 boards. If we can have a combined one with that there, because that was one of our board priorities anyway. So yeah, I'd go along with that. Yep. So what's number 3?
Very good. Next thing, I wanted to say well done to staff on the Peace Rock unveiling on Sunday. That was a wet, horrible day, but it was very good event, well run, and I think it was a fantastic afternoon there. So thank you very much, staff, for all you did for that. also looking forward to Branston Park, the opening of the half court basketball on Thursday. This is going to be another fantastic day, and I'm sure we'll have a good few snags on the barbie there, and it'll be a good day out to celebrate having the half court open. And I just understand there's some distinguished guests being Tall Blacks and Blackfern player there. So
when's that, Mark?
That's at 3:30 p.m. on Thursday the 19th.
Yeah, but Thursday I'm not available. I reply to the same.
Didn't hear the time, Peter. Mark, can you repeat the time again?
Yep. So it's 3:30 p.m. this Thursday at Branston Park in Hornby.
3:30 till 5.
Yep.
But I noted your apology for that, Jimmy.
Yeah, because of wider, the setup this time.
Jimmy, we've got an apology for you, but we'll go back to Mark now because it's his session with the elected members information exchange. Thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah.
We'll certainly note your apology there, Jimmy, and we'll fly the flag on your behalf. No problem there. The last thing on my wee list here was Denton Park Memorial Plaque has had the final agreement from Parks staff to get that in place and get it installed. So we'll be working on that over the coming week or two to get that installed, so that we can finally finish that saga off.
Can you tell us offhand, Mark, what it says?
It hasn't been unveiled yet, Debbie.
Yeah, I mean,
something about the
basically stating that the park was gifted by Stanley Denton to the people of Hornby and Christchurch, and ensuring that people understand what it was for. So it's going to be great to be able to cap that.
What a long process, but finally get there. Well done.
It is.
Yep. So is that you?
So that's me. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you very much for that. Very helpful. Very helpful. Helen?
Yes, well, I've got about 3 items on intensification, so it's all around that. Wanted to thank Faye in particular for an amazing paper she did after we started off in kind of a very confused way. So I think we got most points through. I just want to point out to some things I've come across along the way. First of all, I spoke to Claire Mulcock of the Deans Avenue Precinct Society, and I just said I wanted to check with her as to whether they were affected. And she said, oh, no, we sort of won't be. But she did check, and Deans Avenue is going to high rise. It's not just staying at 3 stories. So it's currently medium density, but it's proposed for high rise. So she's put a submission in, and so have we, against that. I've done a little bit of a look at the northern side of Riccarton Road, and if you intensified everything as they are mentioning, and it's 6 stories, so it's 6 stories round the bush, 6 stories round Westfield, you would go from Deans Avenue to Pier Street and only have 1 block, which was not affected by that.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a point we can make at the hearing, but it's a huge lot of tall concrete buildings.
The hearing's not going to be till next year, Helen.
Or October anyway. The third thing I've found out, and people may have known this, but for the 3 stories, the people going from Pax Halswell, where you're going to 3 stories rather than 6, there's not going to be any hearing. Now, I find that extraordinary. I will try and check that out and make sure I'm clear, but that's the plan at present. And so the 3-storied Halswell, for instance, is an example of 3 stories rather than 1 or 2. So they will have no ability to appear before a panel. So I think we can probably try and change that.
Well, we'll have a look at that, Helen.
It's not good. And obviously the area where I live are very upset. I've sent something around to everybody. They're going from suburban density to 6 stories. So it's a huge jump. So that's that really, and it's going to take a lot of time, I think, to handle this properly, because I think when you get before a head to have evidence. So I think we may, as a board or as individuals, have to try and get evidence. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. I'd just like to acknowledge the work that Helen did through the district plan review post-earthquake as well, where we really worked hard on a lot of those issues.
We did, yeah.
And you're very consistent there, Helen. We've got the same issues coming back again.
Coming back,
and, we spent days and weeks and months actually in that hearing process. We did achieve a lot, but we certainly made those points that we're making now back then.
And the Judge Hanson, he got to know very quickly who in fact we were, and welcomed us back.
Yes, indeed. Don't mess with those pair.
Yeah.
Thanks, Helen.
Thank you.
Now, Jimmy.
Yes. Okay. Two issues. One is the regarding draft annual plan, because the mayor council we review all those more than 500 written submission, and also listen to the 94 submission. But now the staff just integrate the information through the several times the briefing to us. Then we need to have a further the discussion, etc. Yeah, probably I need to probably take time with the other two our board, the local council and the chair. You might have a review whether some items is related to the rates or not. We need to more aware of this kind of issue. I talked to the end probably Catherine as well. I think to probably we need to watch more closely regarding this one. Maybe we need to take time to consider. Second one is also our committee board might understand the particular resident association already, to make the kind of the after the plan change, this kind of the is intensification housing, those one. Yeah, but you're all aware, like Helen mentioned earlier, actually this one is based on council the decision-making process. They will engage with the independent hearing panel to conduct the hearing. They will be held in early of next year. But even our community board or resident association have make the submission, but that's the early stage, the kind of the submission. You still have whether you support your original one or is you oppose your original one. It's the staff maybe will overall review, those the submission, whether have a minor amendment their original the draft, this plan change. Then they will present to council. If approve, you might have reviewed those new amendment one. Then you can support or you are not support. They will put into the public notification. It's by the 20th of August. But that's by before the end of this year. But initial stage you will be put on by the public notification on the 20th of August. So this is the process. But regarding this operative will be by the 20th of August next year. It's a whole process. Just want to share with everyone. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Jimmy. That's been very enlightening for those who weren't aware. But anyway, thanks very much for sharing. It's just a shame that you and I aren't going to be there for that part. But anyway, we'll just have to do our best in the meantime. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you very much. Moving on then to Andre.
Thank you. First of all, starting up the hill in Westmoreland. So the Westmoreland Residents Association, they've been requesting a seat at the bus stop near the corner of Ravensdale Rise and Penruddock Rise. The bus stop is bus stop number 54182. It has been July 2021 they sent the request and they're yet to get a response. After 8 months, they got an apology that there hasn't been a response, but they haven't received a response since then. So they're nearing on a year with no response, despite being promised a response. It is ticket number 444659. Can we get the West Wallen Residents Association a response?
I'll follow up on that, Andre.
Awesome, thank you. Maintenance outside the Halswell Hall. So there's a number of trees between the Halswell Hall and Halswell Junction Road, and they can grow and block access along the footpath on Halswell Junction Road. So there is a regular maintenance schedule that is required to make sure that that access isn't blocked. But I haven't had much luck in getting that work done or getting a response. So I've sent an email on the 3rd of May just asking for a response from staff about maintenance at that area. Haven't had a response as of yet, but if we could get one and provide it to them, just so there's some assurance, won't be an issue going forward, that would be ideal. A community meeting at Ngāpunawai that we've been waiting on. So I've raised this at the last couple of meetings and been told a meeting is coming. I'm just not clear on when that meeting is or when flyers will be going out. I know we've usually got Anne to provide an update. Does staff have any update on this meeting?
No, I don't. Not so insofar as a date for it. I've seen, I've seen stuff. People are organising things, but I haven't seen a date as yet, Andre. No.
What's the purpose of it? Just out of interest.
So there is the residents of around Ngāpunawai were sent an email on the 17th of February telling them there would be a meeting coming up soon to discuss what council will do to address traffic concerns coming into Ngāpunawai. Obviously, Augustine Drive isn't built for massive amounts of traffic, and there's the Netzel Centre is going in, and anyone who sees traffic around Hagley Park on a Saturday netball day will naturally be quite concerned as to what's to come to Ngāpunawai. There's also a lot of money in the long-term plan for what council is going to do around that area, but what they've done is said that they will seek community feedback at this point in time. So they were sent that on the 17th of February. I don't believe they've received any updates since as to when that meeting might take place or what this process of community engagement might look like. So the updates we've been getting are from Anne. I don't know why our community board hasn't been involved in this process at all. So the first question I'd hope to get an answer on is, why isn't the community board involved in this process at all? Why aren't we getting any updates on what this community engagement will look like? I said
we were.
Well, yeah.
At the early stages we were, because we're going to be a meeting set up, and then COVID came along and sort of put a kibosh on that, Andre.
We'll get an answer. We'll find out.
Because I spoke to Anne a couple of weeks ago. I said I'm very happy to organise a meeting myself. The cafe has offered to host a meeting. I'm happy to just drop the flyers off, invite staff along, and let's just have this meeting. So I made that offer a couple of weeks ago, but I was told, no, flyers are ready to go. There's no need for that.
Right.
But I'm still not clear when this meeting is happening, because my offer remains. I can have flyers out in letterboxes this week, if we so wish.
And that's where it was going to be in the first time that meeting was be there. But I think at that venue, I questioned at the time, Andre, I don't know whether that venue would be big enough actually for the expected interest in that. But anyway, we'll just see how it goes. Thanks, Andre.
Cool. Yeah. So if we can find out why we haven't been kept informed as a community board, and just get assurance that we will be going forward, because we need to be, because otherwise I'm here at every meeting asking the same question over and over again. And I could have saved everyone the time. Annual plan submission. So annual plan submissions closed 4 weeks ago. I've asked the question on how many submissions were received on the Milne Spark Sutherlands Road intersection. We're 4 weeks since submissions closed, and I haven't been able to get an answer to that question. So Jimmy's just raised annual plan submissions. My concern, Jimmy, is how a council is expected to analyse annual plan submissions if you're unable to be provided with numbers on how many submissions you've received on certain issues. So I do have concerns about what their process is going to look like over the next couple of weeks. I'm here 4 weeks after process without being able to get a number. I have asked for just to be sent all of the submissions, and I can read all 515 myself and determine what that number will be. I haven't been able to obtain that either. So can we get that number of submissions from staff? If not, can I be provided with all the submissions to have a read of myself? I guess is my question here. But
they're normally uploaded online, aren't they? All the submissions are normally.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure we can. The submissions are public. I'm sure we can get a copy of everything to you. And you've sent that question to me, I think yesterday, day before. I've passed it on to the team, and they've been looking at exactly what Jimmy said. Kind of so they've had all of the submissions come in. They've done the hearings process. They're looking at the themes and the topics, and they're finding a number for us. I was going to say as we speak, probably not as we speak because it's 10 to 6. But
because our meeting is open a meeting, because they make oral submission or even written submission. But we check those information our team have, but I'm not sure whether it's I think it's still open to the public. This is notified. Notified.
Matthew will get the answer for that, Jimmy. But anyway, I can understand where you're coming from, Andre.
I've been asking the question for 4 weeks, and there's got to come a point. It's like, well,
we will get to the bottom of it. Thank you. Anything else from you, Andre?
That's all from me. Thank you very much.
You're wonderful. Thank you. Who else has got hands up?
Gamal.
No, Gamal.
Yeah. Thank you. I just wanted also to Mark Peter. He just touched on this for the Unveiled Peace Walk, which included poem by Sirwan Muhammadi. So it was a really fantastic event. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mark, for coming. It was also thank you to the Oak Development Trust, Carol and Nikki. It was really fantastic to see all this happening. I just wanted quickly to read what's on the plaque. This is for all of you, black, brown, yellow, or white. Together we must unite and push back against hate, because there is no time to wait. Now rise and take each other's hand, and this is the only way we can make a stand.
Lovely.
So that was really a beautiful event. So I just wanted also to report that, thank you. I just wanted to report to the community board that there was also an incident that took place in front of a high school in our area, and with a woman connected to the school shouting at a person from Somalia that he is black and he must listen to her. That was reported to the school, and there is a thorough investigation to what happened. And this was reported to the police as well. And then the local, investigation inside the school is happening right now, and they support, because this incident happened in front of many parents, in front of the school, many students, and the man, his children, grandchildren, they were there witnessing everything, and parents and other people. So it was really pleasant scene to see happening in our beautiful Christchurch. So with somebody also sending the through a Facebook page by somebody unknown person, sending what happened in America to one of the victims of 15th of March. So it's sending the video. I think it was in the media today. Just wanted to say that there is no place for that kind of hateful ideology in New Zealand. Extremists cannot change us, cannot change the way we think, the way we act. We will continue to be together, and no one can divide us. That is just my message to the community today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And it was really good to see Mark Peters there, and Jimmy spoke as well.
Yeah.
And we had the mayor there, and the Honourable Megan Woods as well. So, and it was really special. And the artist who done the artwork for that plaque. Down from Wellington, and it was a lovely afternoon. Thank you very much, everybody who attended, and it was all done with community input, so it didn't actually cost anything to have that plaque put there. And that was an amazing effort. So thanks to all involved for that, and as mentioned before by Mark Peters, thanks for the staff involvement in that as well. So that's it. That's it from me and us. Have we got any? Is there anything else?
Yes.
One
last thing I should bring up is, you may have noticed the liquor license for 62 Riccarton Road. That decision was released, and they were successful in getting their license. So, yeah, unfortunate to have lost that, but I do understand there may be an appeal coming. So, watch that.
Watch the space. Yes. Okay, thank you very much, Mark. If there's no further business, is that your hand up, Debbie, or is it still up? Okay, thanks very much, everybody, for your input. Is your hand up, Debbie? It is.
Yeah, sorry. Helen had a question for me earlier.
Okay.
Helen had a question for me earlier.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes. If you want to answer it, how did the hearing go on Halswell Commons?
Oh, look, the only reason I went was to observe from a commissioner point of view. It went well, and I left come lunchtime, so it wasn't really completed. So, yeah, it went well.
Okay, thank you. Well, if no further business, then I'd just like to thank everybody for their attendance here tonight, and my apologies for being late joining you. But anyway, we got there in the finish. Thanks everybody for your input. Thank you very much, staff, for your input, and thanks to the people who came, young people who came and presented in their in the public forum, and the report on the from our lovely young golfer. So thanks very much for that.
It was fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes, declare